Good evening. Shall we start? Shall we start? Can you hear me? Can you hear me, please? Can anyone answer? Can you hear me, please?
So we can hear you.
Yeah, okay. Then shall we start it? Is my are my slides visible and am I audible? Can someone answer? Am I audible?
Yes, sir, you are audible.
And my screen is visible for you?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. Now this lecture is recording. So I put into the presentation mode. Okay. Uh, Today, our topic is give an overview of emerging engineering technologies and related applications. This is for a lecture to prepare for the next PR examinations, B paper. Now, I concluded one lecture last week that was about engineering practices. Now, when it comes to the engineering practice, I told you about the environmental scanning is required. More importantly, is a pestle analysis. It called L is called technology. Please have a self-discipline. You are one of member. I can see that. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Please, please mute. Please mute. Okay. Now I will go through once again. Right. Here, overview of emerging technology. So we called the word technology in the last lecture about the engineering practices. So engineers always deal with technology. Now, you have to understand what is the difference between technology and system. Now, engineering system is defined as integration of technologies. Now, for example, when you use particular technology like a 5G, you can say it is a technology called the access technology. Access technology means it, for example, when you want to access the internet, now we have passed the many eras, G eras, 1G, 2G, 3G, 4G, and 5G. So now we are talking of 5G technology. But in here, when you combine those technologies, we give a system. Systems are required for solutions. Now, for example, now during the fuel crisis, we have come to know that QR code. How the QR code is deployed? The QR code is, you can say it is nothing, but when you reach the QR code, it transfers data. It validates data. It has a authentication and authorization. Then finally, we have the connectivity. connectivity comes with the 3G, for nowadays mainly 4G and Wi-Fi or fiber to home, right? Again, that your QR, there is a IT part is involved in coding part. How you can encrypt your all data and managing the databases, where this QR data is hosted, the cloud computing, etc. Now you can see emerging technologies and real applications when it combines. Please do understand that some people think the technology is now, the technology is only at present. That is mistaken, because technology is always, it's the evolution, right? It has come like a different avatars. So, for example, now 10 years or 15 years ago, now when that I had the opportunity to witness the very first ATM machine installed at Matara Sampath Bank out of the Colombo. So I had the very golden opportunity to witness it, as when I was regional telecom engineer at Matara at that time. So very first time Sampath Bank, they introduced the ATM machine in Matara at that time using analog technology. At that time, I had to provide a data link between Colombo and Matara, even a small 9.6 kilobit per second baud rate. And this is using entirely analog channel 0 to 4 kilohertz. But at that time, it was a technology is a very big thing for me. So technology is always relative. But now the issue is now, because of digitalization, and digitalization when it starts, the technology growth is the change of the technology, which means the pace of technology, which the rapid change is unprecedented, because it took many times to have an analog to digital system, but within the digital system there are many things are now changing. So therefore technology, only issue is now technology life cycle is very shortened and short lived. But those days when a new technology came, it lasts more than a decade. But nowadays, today's technology will die tomorrow. That is a bigger challenge for all business enterprises and the communities. That is you have to understand. So therefore, if someone think that technology, change of technology, rate of change of technology is very fast nowadays, but 10 years ago it was very slow. But then technology also new technology. So technology, new technological trends mean it is a relative things. You have to understand that first. Now, here, what is the technology? Actually, technology is the application of scientific knowledge for practical purposes, right? So it includes tools, system, devices, and processes. Now, for example, now everyone is now talking IoT. IoT, what do you mean by IoT? IoT means actually that IoT came with the came to have a smart systems. We, rather than mincing the words, that we will go to example. Now, if you want to switch off your refrigerator or control your refrigerator from your phone, you use IoT technology, because you have a sensor, specific times sensors uh, can be installed for your refrigerator. So your modern day refrigerator comes with smart sensors, right? But actually word sensors, not only this decade, sensors came even 10 or 15 years ago, right? Because sensors is not a new thing. But today we are calling it smart sensors. Smart sensors means if you have a sensor to detect the heat or detect the temperature or detect the light or detect any other parameter or detect the speed of the motor. So those things, sensors were available those days as well. But nowadays we have the technologies, you can remotely control these devices using internet, which means that you can use the internet because internet is available everywhere. What do you mean by internet then? The internet is actually the set of computers connected, set of machines connected, right? It is a without borders. So when you Google from using your computer, when you Google it, so no, you don't know where the next computer is located. So it means actually because of the internet technology, now that sensors, the traditional sensors were becoming smart sensors. So that's what we call it is because it has become a tool and it is a smart device. Now, smart device means nothing but only thing is enabled to connect your IoT, and IoT can be connected to the internet. Internet can you can connect to the internet via your smartphone. Then you can have the end-to-end connectivity. That's right. It is not a rocket science nowadays, right? So therefore, you have to understand that always technology is a tool. So some people will misunderstand the technology is a master, not it that. Because always a human brain is superior than technologies. Only thing human brain is superior, but some human brain cannot do certain things within a second that systems can do it because actually it is again using the human brain you have developed the coding and the machine up to that. So therefore you can decide that man made tools, but tools will never replace man. That you have to understand that. So this is my opinion, but anyway, you may have different opinion, but we should note that technology is just a tool. Now, what are the types of new technologies? And few I can, because this lecture is not to tell you about how to use what are the is not a dedicated lesson for knowing each and every technology. Here to understand how do you make use of the technology to deliver the engineering practices or deliver your work uh, productively, which means efficiently and effectively, right? Therefore, here sometimes you may know some technology, one technology better than me, so that should be right. Now, information technology is a one type of new technology. So, in information technology is actually it is a software, hardware, and networks. We know what is software, right? You know what is a hardware? Hardware means computer or servers. Networks means how they are interconnected. And again, the communication technology, again, it comes as the internet of 5G. It called internet is a WAN sometimes to connect between computers, and 5G is 5G, 4G, of course, it is a access technology. And another one is the industrial technology like robotics and 3D printing. And it comes with medical technologies, it is a telemedicine and biotechnology. And emerging technology, AI and blockchain and IoT. Those are things sometimes you may think about this must have a different classification, but actually it is a very underrated. If you go to net and you listen to the YouTube archives, you can find out many definitions. But here, whatever the definition we know, whatever definition we are familiar or unfamiliar, but this is the core concept. Now, actually, I intentionally why I use this slide is blockchain. Some people will understand blockchain is a very new technology. Not that. Blockchain is an emerging technology introduced in 2008 and but is still evolving with growing application in multiple industries. It is a ledger system. It is a ledger system and that name itself suggests that there are blocks. The blocks controlled by a blocks are actually connected by a hash algorithms. So they are highly secured, but secure means again you can see you can say again it is a subjective because this is not the time to discuss, but you will understand blockchain technology is not a AI technology, but you can use AI to strengthen the blockchain technology applications. Right. Now, what are the current technological trends? Current technological trends are now, as I told, artificial intelligence and machine learning and Internet of Things, blockchain and decentralized systems, edge and cloud computing, and 5G connectivity, augmented reality and vision reality, and green technologies. Right? Now, why choosing the right technology matters? Here, as engineers, we should understand that we can deeply understand each and every technology by going through books, by going through YouTube, by going through different presentations, webinars, etc. But we'll have to understand that when we sometimes, when we have uh, many technologies for a solution, one solution may have, you can use many tools. You have to understand that what the exact tool, you should use it. Otherwise, it will be end up with a disaster. So, some people, some companies went bankrupt because of using the wrong technology or selecting wrong technology. So, therefore, why choosing the right technology matters? Why choosing the right technology matters? So, why we use the right technology? Technology is required, for example, to automate a system. It enhances efficiency and productivity. Because why these new technologies are evolving? Because always it look at the past, researchers, they research, they search many times called the research. So they research what are the drawbacks of the current technologies or contemporary technologies, then they do the improvements, then they have a trial work, then actually somebody should get the patent right. So patents are commercialized. So this is the way it ends. So only thing is another company will come and say, hey, this is the best technology, we can use it that for your product, sorry, your company. Now actually we are now we have a dilemma. Which technology we use it? We are entangled between these worlds. Now, actually, choosing the right technology matters. Number one, it enhances efficiency and productivity. Number two, it provides a competitive advantage for a business, right? Because, if, for example, we are now living in a competitive world, in a communication industry, there are a lot of players, right? In a banking industry, also a lot of players. That is the best example I can give you. Now, for example, you can see now in a communication side. So you can see in Sri Lanka there are many players like SLT Mobitel, and Dialog and Hutch. So those are the key companies. They provide services, right? But they may use. They are sometimes they use the underlying technology same, but only they market in the technology. But again, when you come to the banking applications, in a bank also you can have every bank telling their app is very smart. The BOC telling their Flex app is a very smart app, whereas the commercial bank say we are highly secured, and Sampann bank say we are very flexible. So you can have the provide a competitive advantage. So for example, say nowadays the big company or conglomerate, cannot survive without using a proper CRM system. CRM means the customer relationship management system, right? To have a good CRM, you need customer, the prediction of the customer. You need all customer profiles. So you will have to think about why the customers, what are the next generation products the customers will expect. So then actually how when you serve to the customers, you can have the back office function like the ERP functions, etc. So therefore, if you go with the paper and pencil technology, the manual method, what will happen end of the day? Actually, your company, other company will take the advantage and they will grasp all your customers and your customer mitigation for your customer churn is rate is very high. And again, it improves customers' experience as well. Nowadays, we are talking about not only customer satisfaction, it goes as a customer experience and it should align with the business goals. Now, how to select a proper technology? Number one, you have to understand, you should identify the problem and need. Now, for example, now we are very tech savvy people. Sometimes we can go until we can participate for a conference in the international conference or 3-day conference. After coming back from that, we can go and tell our bosses that I have experienced this technology. Spain has introduced it, or you can say that Germany they have introduced it. So again, Australia, when I visit my friend's place, I can see that they introduced this technology. Why not us? So, but it is not the need. Need is you'll have to understand your real business need to use that particular technology or change the technology. You already have a technology. For example, say in Sri Lanka, most of the systems, I know the most of the factories, they still, though we don't call the smart system, they have some system automated using the PLC, program logic controllers, because it will never, in my opinion, PLC systems will never vanish or never disappear from this planet. But only thing the PLC is now it evolves with the other features like how that a PLC can be used integration with the IP and using the SD-WAN, so etc. So then that is a different story. But I am telling now still the PLC can work. It can automate up to certain uh, extent, right? So then identify the problem. Is there a need to change with the technology? If there is a need to change, then you will have to define the requirements. And you will understand, yes, now only we define this requirement. Now, third one is we have to research and compare options and consider compatibility. And finally, assess cost and return on investment. Now, tell me that, I want to explain about that why we are late in introducing 5G. Why we are late in introducing 5G? What is the difference between 4G and 5G? Because I think, I don't know whether how many people have from the telecom industry that is joined for this lecture, but I am asking that in a technology, now I can see how many participants, 24 participants. If I can see, now this is the now technology, now 5G technology. Why actually? We know 1G technology is just a voice. 1.5 means it's a just again improved voices. Sorry, when it comes to 2G, it comes with voice and text messages. When it comes to 3G, the voice, text plus video. So when it comes to the 4G, it's the improvement of 3G to 4G. 4G to 5G means what? It is a low latency. Low latency means actually in a 5G mainly focuses at real-time applications like the real-time gaming, health medicine, where applications are mission critical and low latency is required. But again, the question is now even the developed countries. Now, very recently published article I found that in Sweden they fully implemented for 5G, native 5G. They fully implemented it, not the other 5G. Native 5G means it support fully 5G. It is a rollout to total 5G solution, but not the 4G, because 5G also running on the 4G network. It is not the native. The native 5G, actually they standalone 5G now called, they introduced in the Sweden. Sweden is a very developed country, the per capita income and very high and a very rich country, but even that their country is very rich, they introduced recently. Why is it? We don't have such industries. We don't have such industries yet. So their ROI is not, you cannot have ROI, return on investment. So, but we have to go with the how that is a world is going with the businesses as well. So it means actually demand for those technologies. Nowadays, we will not demand. I am not demanding give me 5G. I want to have my experience. For example, now we are talking of smart systems. Smart system means AI driven smart. We please don't confuse the smart and the AI driven. AI driven smart and smart is different. For smart system, you don't need AI. For example, we have smart homes, right? Smart security systems. We don't need AI for running those things. But AI means actually that you can use even a man machine language. So machines can understand what will be the next step. What will be the next step to do that? So then, therefore, when you want to select a technology, you can identify this a problem and define requirement and compare option and consider competitive access. Now, for example, now Sri Lanka, now we are now going towards a digitalization. This is good or bad? This is good because you know why? What do you mean by digitalization? Digital means actually 0 and 1. Young company can argue with 0 and 1. People who knows the computer science, they saw that 0 and 1. But actually, what do you mean by the digital economy? Digital economy means that every person in the country should have the access to the services, right? For example, now if we want to get a birth certificate. Now, when you want to get a birth certificate, the people, they have to, those days, they have to visit to the uh, divisional secretary office or district secretary office where he was born. But nowadays, after 1970 or 1960, I have forgotten the year, that you don't need to go that particular district in person. You can go to the nearest place, nearest what you call GS, what you call divisional secretary office, and you can get even a person who born in Matara can get a birth certificate from Kandy. It means actually those records are digitalized, the services are accessible. This is called the digitalization, right? Digitalization is that because when you have the digitalization, it is the best way you can audit the systems. You can have access to the system. You don't need to go behind many people, and so your transport cost can be eliminated and so reduced. You can save your time, etc. So it is a nationwide. You will get a plethora of benefits. You can get it. So, but here therefore now is a common digitalization move. Is they have identified the problem. What is the identify the problem? Because now when you want to pay income tax, you don't know what to pay. So you have to go there and meet such officer. If the officer is on leave that day, you have to come back in. So there is a need that you can understand or you can get an appointment from five to home. So identify the need, then define the requirement and consider the compatibility access cost and ROI. When you calculate the ROI, you have to understand, you will have to think always about not only tangible benefits, intangible benefits as well. What do you mean by the tangible benefit? Tangible benefits means you can value looking at the rupee value, or you can figure out it quantitatively. But only thing is a non-tangible benefit means, for example, say if that any person from north to south and east to west can access to each and every services from their home, to know that what amount of tax he has to pay, what amount of telephone bill he has to pay. So then he can do it from using a smartphone. So this is the benefit, people can save their time. Then actually when people save their time, your transport uh, is not congested. So and sometimes you don't have to wait for long queues. Of course, you'll have to go to the market and buy the thing. Now, even we know now we are not, before going to the market, we can search from that. Now, how many people now when we order a power pack or even sometimes phone even, or even we use normally e-commerce platforms, right? And we rent a property, ikwan.lk, or we can go to that the one daras.lk, and sometimes you look at the pygmy, right? In a pygmy, that how the pygmy is just only one office. They handling many vehicles, but they don't have vehicles because the beauty of the technology. So this is called the part of digitalization. For digitalization, actually, you can avoid many what you call inefficiencies. You can avoid inefficiencies, and you can uh, enhance the productivity, of course. And you are very comfortable, and you save your time. And sometimes sometimes no harassments, no third party agents. So you can directly use it, but there is a security issue as well. We know when you say internet technology, so that is a different story, you have to address it. But now, for example, say now even we go to the shop, right? If you don't accept the credit card, what we do now? We can transfer from our account to his account. For maybe I am holding the commercial bank, that person may be having a bank of Ceylon, so I can transfer online. In a millions transaction you can do online. So those days, can you imagine? I can remember that I was an engineer in SLT. With every payday, I had to, as an engineer in charge, I had to go with my staff assistant to the bank to bring money to money in cash currencies, right, to pay salaries. That particular day, completely 3 hours of hours I lost. So I had to sign the pay sheets. I'd go to the bank in person and bring this 1 lakh or 2 lakh. Those will become out to say. So it is not a, you get a police guard and everything. So now, today now, even actually no one wants to go to the bank now. Actually, they transfer the money and they each payday. In the pensioners also, you can see that now. I can see the Kacheri system. Many pensioners were in the huge queue. In a day, they actually came early in the morning. But now, thanks to this digitalization, now actually these queues disappeared. Now, this is the this is the, uh, then we have to understand how evaluation of technology. Because to now always I am telling, we have a technology. Now we will introduce a new technology, a full replacement. So then what we do? What we have to do, we have to think about the technology drives and how it grows, how the technology drives and how the technology innovation and it grows, and how understand these trends and that support decision making and selection and evaluation. Now it is very big exercise. Now I can understand some technologies, some people, even a government department, they have spent the million worth of million public money for the unwanted project, without evaluation proper technology. I told you last time also, it happened in the Sri Lanka Railway. So they bought a STM system, sir, right? Synchronous, sorry, it is means the STM equipment, yes, right? STM equipment is synchronous multiplexers, right? So these STM systems, actually, it was brought those days at the time that technology was dying. At that time, technology was dying. Right? No proper evaluation. Without a proper evaluation, actually, public money wasted in that. Those are the things actually we have to understand, because we should not blind to technologies. It is good side of the technology, we have to select the right technology. But there are a lot of stories I can say. If you embrace the wrong technology, that your company will end up with a bankruptcy. Right? Now, it is how to evaluate a technology. Now, criteria. You have to define a clear criteria, but here there are few steps that I want to say, that how it performs. Now you have to understand how that new technology perform, and reliability, right? Then you want to evaluate a new technology, you have to understand how it perform. But it is new to you, but maybe you have to get the records, get the witnesses from the some other companies, sometimes your peers, sometimes your experiences. So to have a measurement about the performance and reliability, because we are going to buy it, but someone else have been using now, but now we have not used it. So there we will have to get a from your colleagues formal and informal information. You have to assess that it is performance and reliability. Sometimes you have to get the case studies, true stories. Sometimes you have to visit sites. So sometimes you have the proof of concept. One you can ask the you prove first the concept is working. If it is a technology used by someone else, then you can have the experience. But if it is entirely new technology, no one has used it, there's a high risk involved. So therefore, you'll have to do that. How use the performance reliability. So then you will have to send your people, you will have to get involved, and get the information, formal and informal. Then you'll have to think about that, how whether this new technology will fit for us. So then whether we can manage. Sometimes your technology at a point of buying it is very small amount, but maintaining is a high software cost. You will have to bear many license fees, many regulatory requirements. So those things we will have to consider. And security and compliance. Some new technologies when you introduce it, the most of these today's most security. So technologies are technologies are internet based. Wherever new technology comes, you will have to do the internet based. Or sometimes there's software applications. So then how the security, whether they see technology have compromised security, or whether they are compliant with the legal requirements. Sometimes when a new customer relation system we will bring it, so that particular CRM system can have the can very are very vulnerable to leak your customers' information to third parties. That is the problem. Now scalability and flexibility. This is very, so example say, now you can say at the moment I need my customer base nearly about 1 million. But your 1 million will be growing very fast. In the next 5 years, it may be 2 million, 3 million, 4 million, 5 million. But when you go and ask the second year, so 2 million, you can, that particular vendor can say, no, 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 we have got a 1 million system, you have to buy a new system. That is called the scalability. And we had systems should have very flexibility as well. And more importantly, when you use the new, when you bring new system, you have the user friendliness, because your staff and customer care officers using the technology, not only all engineers use the technology. For example, an ERP system, your back office staff. For CRA system, your front office staff. So they use what? If they are not user friendly, sometimes even a customer service officer, they have to what do you call, issue 5 or 6 commands. Even the command prompt, he is not a tech savvy person, he's not an engineering person. What will happen then? Then the vendor support. If the vendor support is, sometimes some vendors, they today they sell the product and after that you cannot find a person, right? And cost of ownership. How we can get that ownership, the cost, right? And another one, tools. What are the tools we are using in? SWOT analysis. And importantly, pilot testing. And again, stakeholder feedback, I explained it to you. And this is the evolution of engineering technologies. Now, as I said, no one can say that today's technology is the best technology in the world, right? It is relatively better than the yesterday's technology. Now, that is why I am telling this one like a waterfall diagram. Technology has been evolving since ancient times. Technology has been evolving since ancient times. And engineering technologies often emerge scientific discoveries and practical needs. Of course, humans use creativity and problem solving to address the challenges such as natural disasters, man made disasters, and environmental changes caused by climate change. These developments greatly influence lifestyle or the quality of working life. This is very important because now, because of this evolution of technologies, our people now we are living the very our life also has become a smart life. And engineers and economists, last point also very important, continue to seek applications that improve productivity and sustain economies of scale. This is the very important word that most engineers have forgotten. It means the economies of scale. Economies of scale means when you use a technology, it supports. So when we have the more activities, it will give more benefit. But if you have less activities, that product may not be benefited. Right. Now, I will highlight a little bit about what are the key technologies we use it. Now, actually, artificial intelligence, it has many definitions. Some people think that artificial intelligence is required for each and every solution for the even a small system. I don't agree for that. But artificial intelligence is required when it is necessary. So artificial intelligence refers to the system that stimulate the human intelligence to perform specific tasks, right? Most current applications they use narrow AI, which is designed for the well-defined task, spam filtering, route optimization, etc. Now we know that when we go to the Google Mail, what we know, when they definitely that we have some spams, because spams means it detects certain mails. Google system think that it is unwanted. So it is in the span, but it is called the narrow AI because you know why? Sometimes I have found that in my spam mail, I have seen some valuable mails as it, but system detected this is unusual mail. So therefore, now in artificial intelligence now, it has improved. Actually, it is not a narrow AI. It is actually broad the its landscape. Now it is a branches of artificial intelligence. One is the machine learning, right? In a machine learning and the deep learning and natural language processing, computer vision, robotics and expert systems, right? You can see the machine learning. Machine learning is what? That is, machine can learn from the data systems, right? Now, for example, say security system. Now, we can uh, we normally in an apartment we can deploy a security guard. He knows sometimes who are the regular visitors or regular people visiting to that particular area. But when an unusual person comes, he might understand. Might not understand. But in a machine language, for example, it learns from the previous data and understand this man is unusual. So, for example, among the cats, you can understand the unusual cat. So that is sometimes they use the machine language compared with the computer vision as well. So this kind of artificial intelligence is required for certain things, right? For example, now we can define rules. So if x equal 3, what is the y? If x equal 5, what is the y? X equal 6, y. So then we can, if the x equals 5, you can have the 8. X equal 2, you can have y is 10. So then we can uh, put the x equal 16, y is 8. So based on that data, that you can predict something, or you can define a particular rules or algorithm, you can predefine it. But if you use the machine learn will understand using this data what is the best algorithm. They should tell you with a certain accuracy. That now you can understand. Right. Now, for example, another one is a natural language processing. Right. So natural language processing, for example, natural language processing. Now, we use it ChatGPT. We use it ChatGPT, right? What do you mean? What is a ChatGPT? It's a predictive text. ChatGPT is what nothing but is a predictive text, right? Now, wait a minute. Wait a minute. What do you mean by ChatGPT? ChatGPT is a generative pre-trained transformer, right? Is a pre-trained transformer. Actually, it decides what, right? It actually it if you give some question, it gives some question in a. If you Google it, Google can give many sites, many sites that your question relevant to. But when you use a chat GPT or GPT, whatever it actually generate based on the information available in certain slides, certain site, it combined all these answers or combine all these sites together, then we give answer for your question, right? So it is actually normal. It is a chat GPT. So chat GPT, for example, what technologies chat GPT use it? So what technologies ChatGPT use it? ChatGPT uses many technologies, right? Here, now for predictive purposes. So it means actually it is a generative AI. It uses large language models. Large language model means actually it is trained on the huge amount of text data and patterns of the human language. And again, it is we call the transformer architecture. It is used as a transformer architecture, right? And it uses natural language processing, right? Converts your questions to answers. The natural language processing. Now, if you ask a question from me, I will provide the answer. It is a natural language processing, right? So now you can understand here. Okay. Sorry. Is something wrong? Wait a minute. Hope you can see it now. Okay. Right. Now I'm telling now actually in a machine learning you can have many things to have understanding about this algorithm and supervised and unsupervised and deep learning neural network and used in many recognition image researchers. So I don't want to explain these things now. More AI applications, and we can have the chatbot and virtual assistants, smart homes and IT, cyber security, gaming, AI, and industrial automation. Right. Now, actually, 5G and Internet of Things, how it related? Now, when it comes to the 5G, you can see how that 5G is going to relate. 5G how it relate to these things. How can I say it is? Wait a minute. How it can relate? How it can relate to these things, right? Now 5G is a thing that it is a is my screen visible? Is it visible
No,
or
sir.
not? Huh?
No. No, sir.
Yeah, there must be an issue.
Not visible, sir.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Don't get panic. Now it should be visible. Am I correct?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now visible.
Okay. Okay. Now it's visible. It should be. Okay. Now here you can understand why that is 5G, how that 5G or 4G link with the AI and the other Internet of Things. Now 5G is a tool we are using to connect the systems. And I told you about that when we use a chat GPT. Now this chat GPT, when you type in the computer, now tell me that is what happened to the Chuck Norris, because Chuck Norris is another movie star. He died recently. So then it should contact its central server. Your machine should connect to that comes over via 5G or 2G or via 5G. So without 5G, you can't use it. That is a small example I told you. Even you have a smart system. For example, say now if you have a very your refrigerator, your control you have to take the refrigerator temperature very sensitive. You have to control it now immediately. Then you need actually good connection from your smartphone to your smart device using the 5G or 4G. If your connection is very low latency, you can switch on it or switch off it. This is one why these communication technologies are closely related to these things, right? Now another one is sometimes serverless computing. Sometimes you can have the edge computing as well. Now, for example, now recently I supervise one project. Now we want to fix a traffic monitoring system in a junction like a Malabar junction to see that how many vehicles passing through and how it supports the traffic light system. Now, when we have it, we want to get a camera. That from camera we can detect the camera is a high-end camera having a good, what do you call, very capable sensor, and with giving a high resolution of the images, those images we can process to see that, identify the images and see that type of the vehicles and type of the vehicle, whether it is a motorcycle or car or lorry, etc. So then this can be processed, or we can send to a central server to process it. But we have used it internally, high-end computer, high-end microcontroller to process it, high-end machine to process it. It means actually you use it at edge computing, you compute only here locally, then you pass only required information to the system. Right. This is a very using the biometrics. You know that every time we want to change the password, the biggest issue is when you use a password, you have to put a strong password. Then you have to keep password somewhere. It is also again we can now write to some place. Again we use some weak password, though we reuse them, what will happen? So that is why biometrics you cannot what you call clone it. There are some techniques very difficult to clone it even. Right? Now again I told you the blockchain. Blockchain is a it is you people will normally that they confuse with what's the blockchain, but blockchain is not to confuse with that AI. It is another technology. It uses some information recorded like blocks in the decentralized systems. Very difficult to hack it. Right. Now those are the things that I want to explain a little bit about emerging technologies. In your paper, actually, I cannot say exactly what technologies they will ask, right? And I cannot ask anyone to write it, or some examiners cannot write about the difference between ChatGPT or predictive AI or non-predictive AI, right? It's a non-productive AI. So ChatGPT is a non-predictive AI. Some predictive AI is another way to think about, right? So, but again here I am telling this is not the you are testing, because you have a different cross section. What is the cross section? You can have maybe civil, mechanical, electronics, telecom, etc. So then the issue we must know how to use these technologies. We must know that how to use these technologies. Okay? We must know that how to use these technologies. That is the whole idea. So therefore, when you have to think about technology, most people understand that get the knowledge of the technology is enough. Sorry, you are asking something about one question is predictive AI. Yeah, predictive AI is different. For example, is predictive AI, it analyzes the historical data and makes the prediction about what is likely to happen next. Is a predictive. It collects past data, right? And it finds the pattern and trends. Then it uses the algorithm to predict the future. For example, in the businesses, it predicts sales and demand, right? And it forecasts rain and temperature. And an e-commerce suggests a product you may buy. Sometimes the system, you can see that when you go to a certain website, when you use that particular particular, what you can say, it is a particular platform, after that suddenly that they will suggest, there will be a suggestion for you. If you, for example, if you go and buy a hub, the network hub, that they can come out with, there's a new hub for you, right? That is called the very predictive part of this. Hope you can understand. It's predictive, right? And healthcare. Sometimes in banking, it detects fraud transactions as well. So in actually, for a predictive AI, the technology uses machine learning, data mining, and statistical models. The machine learning, of course, they use it because, why the machine learning they use it? They can, for example, say, now, when I am using a YouTube particular sites, I am watching these days the world politics, what happened to the Iran war. So then they know that if we have, I have a YouTube premium account, they know what is, they predict it. This is also a good site for you. That is called the predictive. But ChatGPT is a generative. Generative means when you ask something, they will submit a question based on the past records. Right? Sorry, based on the current records, they are giving it the exact answer. It is the answer for that. Hope you can understand. Danushka, you understood it?
Yes, sir. Thank you very much.
Okay. I think that is the most people they could not understand because chat now, and even actually machine learning, you have the supervised data, unsupervised data, etc. So supervised data means you know what is the X and what is the Y. Then based on X and Y, you can predict, but you have the 3 data of X, you have 3 data of Y. That based on that, you can have the 10 data of X and what is the 10 data of Y. Right? So these are the things. But anyway, this is not the time to tell you about exactly what is the how can what you call the deep knowledge. Hope you understood it. Any question? Any question? Right? More importantly, what you want to understand is that technology is relative. It's always evolving. Sometimes it can be considered as evolution and revolution. Yes, relationship with the blockchain and the cryptocurrency. Yes. Now, for example, like a cryptocurrency use the blockchain technology. It is one of the product. Cryptocurrency is one of the product used for blockchain. Because cryptocurrency introduced use in the blockchain platforms. Hope you understood it, Sisa Mandar.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Right. So with that note, I think now the screen is not clear. Is that clear now? Anyway, I am not using the screen now. Okay. Right. Now, how can I say? This is the exam. It tests your knowledge, not only each and every technology. Sometimes you may be expert in one technology. Danushka may be expert in one technology, and what you call Sarath may be in another technology. So, what thing is you must know how to evaluate those technologies. Okay. And what should be the appropriate technologies? The cost factor is very much important. Okay. So then I will have to wind up the session. I will say wish you all the best. Don't worry for the exam. So it is just you can write in analytically the answer the question, short and sweet, analytically, and have a nice weekend. Thank you.
Good
Thank you.
night, sir.
Thank you. Good
Thank
night.
you.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.